Hi, my name is Rob Herriot, and I'm a stage director in the Canadian World of Opera. I'm here in Edmonton working with Opera NUOVA on their summer festival. The production I bring to the festival is one that was created for Calgary Opera in the fall of this year for their Emerging Artists program, which was then played to high school audiences and general audiences alike in hopes that we could further expose students in the school system to the world of opera and further educate them as to what opera is and why it's important and why we should be partaking of it. This opera was developed from a two-act Berlioz piece called Beatrice and Benedict, which we reduced to one act down from 2 hours and 15 minutes to 80 minutes, which it really makes it accessible to the younger audiences as it's one act and the action keeps moving through in a very quick pace. The original opera contains dialogue in French, which I rewrote with dialogue in English, taking the original Shakespeare from the play Much Ado About Nothing, on which the opera is based, taking the Shakespeare text and paring that down quite a bit, and reworking it with a Shakespeare specialist so that it was somewhat easier to understand. I think it's more important than ever now that we expose the younger audiences to the world of opera, as it really does represent all of the theatrical art forms coming together in one huge theatrical experience. We have acting, we have heightened singing. These singers out there today are like athletes performing these roles. Beautiful orchestrations, fantastic sets, costumes. All of these elements are pretty exciting when you see them together in one place. In the past few years, I have done a lot of work with young artist programs, working with younger singers, not only helping to develop their skills, but to do productions that we can present to younger audiences and to schools. In Alberta especially, I've done a lot of work with Calgary Opera on several productions that were adapted for younger audiences that toured to many of the schools. This, in my experience, has been extremely important as the feedback from these schools has been very positive, and the kids come away educated. I think there's a general misconception that opera is a lot of loud noise with rather large ladies and helmets with horns. And although that's an exciting part of the opera fantasy, not so much the reality these days. And I think that's what kids are coming away from, especially with the Beatrice and Benedict that we're doing with Opera NUOVA. They're able to see that opera can be comedic. It can be funny. The singers are loose on stage, that they're not always serious and making these great woo sounds, that they are having fun with it. Communicating, they're falling in love. They're doing everything that young people are doing in their own lives, and I think it on a heightened level, but really isn't film and theater that as well. We're seeing that presented to us in a mirror image sometimes. The other thing that we have in Beatrice and Benedict is there's some fighting. So they get to see three guys with swords running around and very loosely having a good time and cajoling each other if it was like a fraternity pillow fight or some such thing. All these elements I created, wanted in the piece because it was playing to younger audiences, and I think, again, it was important for me not to present a work that was a merely stand and sing concert. I think this is how I approach most of my work, as I not only younger audiences but new audiences coming to opera need to understand that their preconceived ideas or the preconceived notions that are out there are not necessarily what they're going to see or what they're going to come away with.